My brothers and sisters in Christ, this is not just another message. This is a divine dispatch, a spiritual alert, a prophetic trumpet sounding across the heavens. Because those whom God has chosen, He is calling into position. And the time is shorter than you think. By July 15, 2025, something will shift. Something will be released. But before that day comes, you must be aligned. You must be awakened. You must be available. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to fit in. You were not designed to follow the crowd. You are a remnant, a warrior, a vessel for glory. But if you don't know who you are, you'll misuse what God has placed in your hands. There is a kingdom calling on your life, and it's not waiting on your convenience. It's moving on God's calendar. And right now, we are standing on the edge of a divine moment. Heaven's clock is ticking. While the world is distracted, divided, and deceived, God is whispering to His chosen ones, come out from among them. Separate yourself. Hear my voice. You may feel hidden, overlooked, attacked, betrayed. But let me tell you, all of that was training for reigning. The enemy's opposition was confirmation of your position. God doesn't waste battles. Every pain had a purpose. Every delay was divine. The fire you've been through wasn't sent to burn you. It was meant to build you. Because the higher the calling, the hotter the fire. God was not punishing you. He was preparing you. Now listen carefully. By July 15, 2025, there will be an opportunity, a divine door, a breakthrough, a shifting of seasons. But God is saying this, I'm only opening the door for the ready, not for the popular, not for the comfortable, but for the prepared. The shaking in your life, that was to remove idols. The isolation you've endured, that was to deepen your intimacy with me. The delay in your dreams, that was to increase your dependency. Chosen ones, you must wake up now. No more spiritual laziness, no more excuses. Pray like never before. Fast. Study. Purify your heart. Forgive. Get rid of what's toxic. Release what's carnal. Because this next season won't wait for you to get it together. You've been marked. You've been preserved. You've been set apart. But now you must obey. Don't miss this move of God. Don't miss your moment. Don't miss your mission. For many are called, but few are chosen. So Matthew 22:1 see why is true. But among the chosen, only the obedient will walk through this door. Trim your lamps. Stay watchful. July 15, 2025. Heaven's timeline is in motion. Be ready. God's chosen are on heaven's schedule. This truth cannot be overstated, and it cannot be overlooked. When God sets a time, it's not up for negotiation. It doesn't shift based on your convenience or your emotions. God's divine calendar is moving with or without your agreement. There are moments in life that are not random, they are appointed. July 15, 2025 is not just another date on the calendar. It is a spiritual checkpoint, a divine alignment, a moment where heaven will intersect with earth in the lives of those who have been set apart. It is a time that has been written in eternity. And those who are truly chosen, those who walk closely with God, will begin to feel an urgency they can't explain. It's not fear. It's not anxiety. It's the Holy Spirit pulling on their hearts saying, get in position. It's almost time. God has always worked by appointed times. Noah had 120 years to prepare for the rain. Abraham had to wait 25 years before the promised son arrived. The children of Israel wandered for 40 years until the appointed time came for them to cross over. Jesus himself was born in the fullness of time. Heaven does not work by human deadlines. It operates by divine ones. And when that clock hits the moment God has appointed, things begin to shift. What was hard becomes easy. What was delayed is suddenly released. What was broken is healed. Doors that were sealed shut are blown wide open, but only for those who are in alignment. If you're chosen, you can't afford to live casually. You don't have the luxury of spiritual procrastination. You don't get to hit the snooze button on your calling. Because when God says, you have to move. When he says, let go, you've got to drop it. When he says, prepare, you need to act immediately, not eventually. Heaven's timeline is not waiting for your feelings to catch up. This is not the time to be distracted by trivial things. This is not the season to be entangled in sin, tied up in bitterness, or trapped in spiritual slumber. God is speaking now. He's warning his chosen. He's saying, there's a window opening, and if you're not ready, you'll miss what I've been preparing you for your whole life. There is something about divine timing that demands divine obedience. It demands focus. It demands sacrifice. The chosen ones are not those who merely believe. They are those who move when God says move. And when you understand that God has set something in motion before July 15, 2025, you begin to rearrange your life to match what heaven is saying. You don't wait for confirmation from people. You don't seek validation from the crowd. You don't need the world's applause. You only need God's instruction. Because when you obey heaven's schedule, you step into heaven's favor. When you align with God's timing, you align with God's provision, protection, and power. This moment is not a threat, it's a gift. It's a signal to those who have ears to hear that the shift is near. It's not about the exact date. It's about the spiritual reality that by that time, something in your life must be in place. Your heart must be surrendered. Your hands must be clean. Your ears must be attentive. God doesn't alert the masses. He whispers to the chosen. And those who truly belong to him will feel the call, respond to it, and walk boldly into the door he's about to open. Don't ignore the tug. Don't delay the preparation. Time is moving, and so is God. And when heaven's moment comes, you want to be found in position, ready, watchful, faithful. Because when the divine moment hits, it won't wait. It will pass over those who hesitated, but it will fall on those who were ready. Chosen ones, this is your time to prepare. Heaven's clock is ticking. God is not looking for the popular. He's looking for the prepared. In this hour, it's not about how many followers you have, how many people know your name, or how loud your platform is. It's about the condition of your heart. It's about whether not you've been behind the scenes in the secret place, doing the deep work that nobody sees. Because when God begins to open doors, He doesn't check your resume. He checks your roots. Popularity may open doors in the world, but only preparation opens doors in the kingdom. And what God is about to do will crush those who haven't been built up in the private place. The world claps for surface level success, but heaven responds to substance. People may applaud your charisma, but God is looking for character. You can fake influence with followers, but you can't fake spiritual maturity. You can't pretend to have oil when your lamp is empty. And in this next season, God is separating those who have a public appearance from those who have a private altar. He's distinguishing between those who want attention and those who want anointing. You can have the crowd and still miss the cloud. You can be liked by men and still be unknown by God. That's why this is not the time to chase exposure. It's the time to chase obedience. Preparation is what sustains you when promotion comes. It's what keeps you grounded when doors fly open. Without preparation, the blessing becomes a burden. Without preparation, you'll step into rooms your character can't carry. And God, in His mercy, often delays your moment. Not to punish you, but to protect you. He's not trying to deprive you. He's trying to develop you. He knows what's waiting on the other side of your calling, and He refuses to let you walk into it unarmed, unready, and unrooted. Some of you have been hidden. You've been overlooked. You felt forgotten. But let me tell you something, that hiding season was holy. It was preparation. It was God's cocoon for your soul. You weren't buried. You were planted. And just like a seed must be covered before it sprouts, you had to go low before you could grow. In the darkness, God was shaping your identity. In the silence, He was teaching you how to hear His voice. In the waiting, He was stripping away the need to perform. You were being equipped, not erased. Don't be discouraged if you haven't been seen yet. Don't be frustrated if doors haven't opened yet. Because when you are truly prepared, you won't need to push them open. They will swing wide at the command of God. And when they open, you will walk through them with confidence, knowing that your preparation wasn't wasted. The tears you cried in private, they became prayers that positioned you. The sacrifices nobody noticed, they became seeds that are now bearing fruit. The battles you fought in silence, they built spiritual muscles you'll need for the next level. God is not elevating the impressive. He's elevating the obedient. The ones who said yes when no one was watching. The ones who chose holiness over hype. The ones who fasted when others feasted. Who prayed when others played. The ones who said, God, even if no one sees me, I'll still serve you. Even if no one claps, I'll still obey. Those are the ones heaven is watching. Those are the ones God is raising. And when the shift comes, when July 15, 2025 arrives, you'll see that it wasn't the most visible who were chosen. It was the most prepared. So don't chase platforms. Chase presence. Don't pursue being known. Pursue being faithful. Because when God opens the door, it will be too late to prepare. Either you'll be ready or you'll be replaced. And chosen ones, God didn't bring you this far to leave you behind. Get ready. Stay ready. Because preparation is the proof that you believe the promise is coming. Every pain you've endured was preparation. Every tear you cried, every night you wrestled with questions, every betrayal that cut deep, every closed door that didn't make sense, it was all part of something bigger than you could see. God never wastes suffering. He doesn't allow his chosen ones to go through hardship for nothing. There is always purpose in the process, and when you're called by God, that process is never random. It's intentional, it's strategic, and it's deeply personal. Sometimes God allows pain not to break you, but to build you. He knows what's ahead. He knows the weight of the assignment on your life. And because he loves you too much to let you be crushed by what's coming, he takes you through seasons that stretch you, refine you, and mold you. You see, greatness cannot be microwaved. Oil doesn't come without pressing. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Gold isn't purified without fire. And so God, in his mercy, allows pain to shape the vessel that will carry his glory. You may have looked around at others who seemed to rise while you were stuck in the valley. You saw people who didn't pray like you, who didn't sacrifice like you, getting platforms, opportunities, relationships, and you wondered, God, why am I still here? But what you didn't see is that you weren't being denied. You were being developed. God was digging deeper in you than he was in them because your calling runs deeper. The greater the assignment, the more intense the preparation. The delays you faced were not denials. They were divine pauses to strengthen your foundation. If God had given it to you too soon, you would have fumbled it. If he had answered your prayers on your timeline, it would have become an idol. He knew you needed to learn how to seek him without results, how to worship without evidence, how to trust without understanding. He was anchoring your faith not in the blessing, but in the blesser. Because when your faith is forged in fire, no storm can shake you. And those betrayals, the people who walked away, that pain was real, but it was also revealing. God used it to show you who was really for you and who was only there for what you could give. He didn't let them stay because they couldn't go where he's taking you. Some people were distractions. Some were dead weight. Some were divine lessons. But none of them were permanent. You didn't lose them. You were freed from them. Because when God is about to elevate you, he starts by pruning you. Not out of cruelty, but out of love. Even the warfare you faced was confirmation. The attacks didn't come because you were weak. They came because you're dangerous. The enemy doesn't fight what doesn't threaten him. He comes hardest against those with the greatest potential. So every time you were hit, every time you were knocked down, every time the enemy tried to silence you, it was proof that there's something powerful on your life. And you're still here. You didn't quit. You didn't fold. That's because you were being built for something beyond what you can currently imagine. God has been preparing you for impact. And when the moment comes, when the doors open, when the season shifts, when the mantle falls, you'll look back and realize it all made sense. The pain shaped your compassion. The delay matured your perspective. The rejection taught you identity. The loss deepened your worship. And now, when the platform comes, it won't change you because the pain already did. You won't be moved by applause because you were built in silence. So don't curse the pain. Don't despise the process. Don't regret the wilderness. God was building something in you that can't be shaken. And when the time comes, when the appointed moment arrives, you'll see that every scar was a setup, every storm was a lesson, and every valley was a proving ground. Because for the chosen ones, the pain isn't the end. It's just the beginning of the power. Separation always comes before elevation. When God is getting ready to do something significant in the life of someone he has chosen, the first thing he often does is separate them. He pulls them away from people, places, and patterns that no longer fit where he's taking them. It can feel lonely. It can feel confusing. But make no mistake, separation is a sacred part of the process. You can't carry divine purpose while clinging to earthly distractions. You can't walk in power while living in compromise. God will not elevate what he cannot trust. So he calls his chosen ones to come out, to come up, and to come clean. When God called Abraham, he said, "Leave your country, your relatives, and your father's house, and go to the land I will show you." That was the first instruction. Leave, not build, not preach, not possess. First, separate. Because where God is trying to take you, not everyone can follow. Not every relationship can survive that level of glory. Not every habit can go where God's favor is about to take you. Separation is not punishment. It's preservation. It's God pulling you out of what's common to prepare you for what's consecrated. In this season, many of God's chosen are feeling a holy discomfort. You don't fit where you used to. Conversations feel empty. Environments you once enjoyed feel off. Friendships that once fed you now frustrate you. That's not you being arrogant. That's not you being antisocial. That's God shifting your spirit. He's telling you, this is no longer your home. You've outgrown it spiritually. I'm moving you from familiarity to faith. And faith always requires a leaving before it experiences a lifting. Separation also means cleansing. God isn't just separating you from people. He's separating you from patterns, from sin, from spiritual laziness. He's pulling you out of cycles that keep delaying your destiny. You can't be chosen and stay carnal. You can't have a kingdom assignment and live like the world. Holiness is not optional for those who want to carry power. God is calling his chosen ones to purity, not perfection, but a life set apart, clean hands, pure hearts, obedient spirits. Sometimes the hardest part about separation is letting go of what feels good, but is no longer God. That old relationship, that toxic friendship, that compromising lifestyle. It may have comforted you in a season of weakness, but now it's threatening your next level. And you have to decide, do you want comfort or do you want calling? Because you can't have both. Comfort keeps you where you are. Calling pulls you into the unknown. Comfort wants to hold on to what's familiar. Calling demands that you trust what's coming, even if it costs you everything you've known. God is not interested in your convenience. He's interested in your calling. That means he will disrupt your plans to align you with his purpose. He will allow tension to grow in places that used to feel like home so that you'll finally move. He will let the wrong people walk away so the right ones can find you. He will shut doors you've been trying to force open because he knows what's behind them is beneath your destiny. That's the beauty of separation. It protects you from settling. The truth is, many people pray for elevation, but few are willing to pay the price of separation. But for the chosen ones, separation is the gate to the next level. You may cry. You may grieve. You may not understand it in the moment, but later, you'll thank God for what he pulled you out of. You'll look back and realize that what you thought was rejection was really redirection. What you thought was loss was actually deliverance. So don't fight the separation. Don't run back to what God pulled you out of. Don't mourn what God removed. Trust that he knows what he's doing. You're not being isolated. You're being insulated. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Because when God separates you, it's only because he's about to elevate you. A door is about to open, but only those who are truly ready will be able to walk through it. This is not a door that opens by chance. It is one that responds to preparation, obedience, and spiritual alignment. God doesn't open doors randomly. He opens them intentionally at specific moments in time for specific people who have been faithfully preparing in the quiet places. Many are asking God for opportunities, but very few are preparing for them. And when divine timing meets human unpreparedness, opportunities are lost. Not because God didn't want to bless you, but because you weren't positioned to receive it. There is a spiritual door that is coming, an open gate to a new dimension of purpose, influence, clarity, and divine assignment. But it will not swing open for the lazy, the distracted, or the half-committed. This next door will only open to the ready. God is moving, and He is looking for those who have been faithful in the waiting, consistent in the secret place, and obedient in the little things. He's watching to see who kept worshiping when things didn't make sense, who kept trusting when all they saw was delay, who stayed pure when temptation came knocking. This is why your preparation matters more than ever, because when the door opens, it won't give you time to get ready. It will only allow those who already are ready to walk through. It's like the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 were wise and kept their oil filled, and 5 were foolish and let it run out. When the bridegroom arrived, the door was opened, but only the prepared could enter. The others came too late and found the door shut. That's not just a parable. It's a prophetic picture of what's happening now. God is testing hearts. He's measuring character. He's watching motives. And when the moment comes, He won't be checking your title. He'll be checking your oil. Many are focused on being seen, being followed, being praised. But God is focused on who has been faithful, who has been tending to their assignment without applause, who has been seeking Him when no one was looking. Because when the door opens, popularity won't matter. Only obedience will count. It's not about who you know. It's about who knows you in heaven. And when the time comes, those who walked with God in the shadows will be revealed in the spotlight, not because they chased it, but because they were trusted with it. God doesn't promote based on charisma. He promotes based on capacity. And capacity is developed in the wilderness, in the fire, in the pressure, in the pain. If you've been in a long season of stretching, don't resent it. Rejoice in it. Because that stretching was increasing your capacity. It was making room for what's coming. It was getting you ready for the door. And make no mistake, this is not just a small door. This is a door that leads to the fulfillment of long-awaited promises, delayed dreams, and kingdom assignments. This is a door that will shift the trajectory of your life, but it's not automatic. You have to be aligned. You have to be alert. You have to be anchored in truth. No more spiritual sleepwalking. No more riding the fence. You either prepare now or you'll be passed by later. Don't miss this divine opening because you were too busy being casual. Don't be found spiritually asleep when the moment hits. This is the time to fast, to pray, to let go of what's hindering you, to sharpen your spiritual discernment, and to live with intentional focus. Because when the door opens, It won't stay open forever. You must be ready, not getting ready, ready. There is a door coming, and it's for the chosen, the faithful, the prepared. And if you've been in the shadows, hidden, misunderstood, and wondering if your moment will ever come, hold on. The door is near. Stay ready. Because when heaven opens that door, everything will change in an instant. The call requires immediate response. When God speaks, he expects action, not hesitation, not negotiation, not procrastination, obedience. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. And when you're chosen, you don't get the luxury of moving at your own pace. The urgency of the hour demands that you respond when God calls, not when it's convenient. The kingdom is advancing. The clock is ticking, and your assignment has a window. If you wait too long, that window can close. Not because God changed his mind, but because you weren't willing to move when he said go. God doesn't beg. He doesn't have to keep repeating himself. When he gives a divine instruction, he's not asking for your opinion. He's inviting you into alignment. And too many people have missed their moment because they were waiting for a better time, a clearer sign, or someone else's approval. But the ones who are truly chosen understand that when God says move, you move. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if you're scared, even if you don't have all the details, you move because the one who called you already sees what's ahead. Some doors only open for a season. Some assignments are tied to divine timing. If you don't step into them at the right moment, the opportunity may pass to someone else who was ready and willing. This isn't about fear. It's about urgency. God is shaking his people awake because too many have been sitting in delay, stuck in indecision, paralyzed by doubt. But this next move of God is not waiting on the hesitant. It's falling on the available. And that means your yes has to be immediate. When God told Noah to build the ark, there was no room for delay. If he had waited until he saw rain, it would have been too late. When God told Moses to go to Pharaoh, he didn't get 10 years to think about it. When Jesus said, "Follow me," his disciples dropped everything immediately. There was no time to tidy things up or explain it to everyone. They responded because they recognized the weight of the moment. That's the kind of obedience God is looking for now. Swift, surrendered, and fearless. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. And willingness is shown through action, not words. You can't keep saying, "God, use me," while ignoring every instruction he gives you. You can't keep praying for breakthrough while refusing to break away from what's holding you back. Faith without action is dead. Destiny without obedience is impossible. This is the season where your response matters more than ever. If you feel the tug in your spirit, don't ignore it. If God is telling you to fast, to give, to forgive, to leave, to start, to speak, do it now. Not later, not next week. Now, because there's something coming, and the ones who will be positioned to receive it are those who moved when no one else saw the vision. They obeyed before it made sense. They acted before they had the details. That's faith. That's what God honors. You've been asking God to speak. He's speaking. The question is, are you responding? Are you adjusting your life, your habits, your relationships, your mindset to reflect that you believe Him? Or are you treating His word like a suggestion instead of a command? When you're chosen, obedience is not optional. It's your lifeline. It's the key to your next level. It's the proof of your trust. The truth is, too many people have forfeited promises, not because God failed, but because they delayed. They hesitated. They wanted more confirmation, more comfort, more time. But the ones who will walk through the coming doors, who will see July 15, 2025 as a divine pivot, are the ones who acted in faith immediately. So stop stalling. Stop second guessing. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. God has spoken. The time is now. Respond with your whole heart, because your next chapter is waiting on your yes.